The show will be starting shortly. Test 1, test 2. All right, mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Can you guys hear me okay out there? It's a little bit on the low side. Check 1 2. Yeah. About to do this. Gonna wait for a couple more people to file on in. Rico. Courtney Michelle called you out last. You know, if you didn't already know, she called you out, bruh. She called you out. She called you out, bruh. Like to kick out some shout outs. From the bottom up, we got Phyllis B in the house. Phyllis, welcome, welcome. We also have Rico in the house. Sean Antonio Rich Bully in the house. Maya LaShawn in the house. I'm in the house. We have Something Bell in the house. World Class is in the house. SheSo Lucki in the house. About to do this. Let me change up the music a little bit. Let me pop something up in here. Let me pop something up in here. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Break it down now. Siobhan's in the house. All right, everybody, we are back. We are back. We are back. In the house, this is DJ Torch. Like to welcome everybody in the chat. Siobhan is in the house. Ree's Room is in the house. May is in the house. We're about to do this. We are about to do this. Testing 1, 2 to make sure this is cool. Testing 1, 2 to make sure this is cool. Testing 1, 2 to make sure this is cool.
Black men have left and they are not looking back.
The topic I have for you is gaslighting, the narcissist's favorite tool. So I'm going to talk about what gaslighting is, why narcissists and other manipulators use it, what some common gaslighting phrases are.
Black men have left and they are not looking back.
How this affects you as the target over time. And finally, I'll give you some tips to deal with gaslighting so you can save your sanity.
Sierra, the women that he's dating or spending time with, they're all of age and they all need to be held accountable for what they decide to do. Let's don't miss that. Even the ones in the US, if we decide to give ourselves to men, then we just decide to do so, and we have to be accountable for that. So we can't hold this man responsible for that part.
Right.
But again, we're talking about me. I'm talking about adding value back into women and us making different decisions. So maybe that should be a different conversation to the women that are involving themselves, instead of asking him, why is he doing this? But I'm gonna let Auston go ahead and answer that question from his point of view.
So I want to say, number one, I'm not a tourist. I'm not going back to the United States. So I'm not pushing any sort of tourism. If you've watched enough of my videos, you hear me say leave the United States permanently. So I'm not encouraging men to go sleep with some gringo hunter for 5 days and then go back. So that's not even what my channel is about.
Number one, the most obvious benefit of being in Brazil dating versus the United States is women do not hesitate coming back home with you. It is unbelievably easier to get. If you're in Brazil and
Oh shit.
you have not had intercourse in a long time, I'm sorry to tell you, as a man, that's more than likely your fault. It's got to be something wrong with you. The women here do not weaponize it against you like they would in the States. Meanwhile, in the States, y'all have blue balls.
Y'all women, y'all weaponizing it, huh? What do you think?
And y'all are over here, offing yourselves and
Why did he say that? That's kind of weird.
Doing school massacres, and that could all be more than likely if dudes would get what they wanted, that could be different. But sorry to tell you, I'm in the States, you're not. But in Brazil,
Fellas, according to Auston Holleman, ladies, according to Auston Holleman, you're supposed to just give it up. You're supposed to just give it up. That's what he's telling you. That he'll come back to America as soon as he sees you, you're supposed to just give it up to him.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. That's number one.
I think I'm leading by example.
Really, nigga?
I'm not going back.
He sounds like one of those guys who just got out of the pen. I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
Okay, I understand. Now, you stay in certain amount of days in Thailand and then going to Philippines and then going to another country. So that's tourism.
Got him. Got him.
Okay. I mean, expats is someone that stays for a longer period of time and works in a place. That's the way I see it. As I work.
Yeah,
with
that place was Brazil. And if you go look at my community posts, I was still living in Brazil, and I was going to bring content from at least 11 countries while I still had a place in Brazil. But since this happened, now I'm just going to jump around and do content. And then whenever I get through going to my places, then I'll find somewhere to live in. Because I wanted to live in Brazil.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me put it this way. I am not hating on passport bros. Please, I'm making that clear. I'm not. But I am and I'm not American. I'm not in the United States. I don't have that culture. I am someone outside looking at it from the outside, how this could affect other cultures, how the behavior of men traveling and just dating women, not doing anything else because they're not.
I have to pause this. Siobhan, great comment. Siobhan says they keep saying they're not coming back when they haven't left. You still a U.S. citizen. You must answer to Uncle Sam nevertheless. Very good point. That the problem is that I guess these men want to mentally leave the U.S. because it's easy if they were going. Are you going to travel or are you going to leave? Really, both to me is a win-win.
Getting married, they just dating women, which is fine. I'm saying it's fine, but this is spreading American culture to these other cultures. I'm just trying to protect, and just like Miss Security Boss is doing it for the American women, I want other women.
She ain't doing it for the American women. She is not doing anything for the American women. She tries to pretend she is, but she has nothing for women. She is nothing for women at all. Let's make that clear.
And outside of the United States to understand that if what you really want is to get married, take care of themselves from men that come to these countries with the intention that have a good time, date, but not marry. Because at the end of the day, we want to get married too. And I'm not for papers, not for none of these things. It's just what women want. And I'm not saying you, but remember, and that's why I ask you, it could have a positive impact or a negative. Why? Because you may have your goals clear, which I respect, but there is men out there that are listening that will.
We all know what his goals are.
Interpret your words in a different way. Like there's men that are saying, oh, I think I heard you clarifying this on a video, specifically saying, oh, don't think that just because you're American, you're going to be treated as a celebrity. No, you have to work on yourself. And I think you did. And I was like, I'm glad that he's saying that, because it requires effort from you to be who you are, to be able to present yourself on other cultures. Because not just because you're American, they're going to accept you just like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I'm saying that.
Let me add this little piece before we go on. This is it has been Passport Bros, I think we said, since 1960. Well,
let me stop it before she starts her spiel. No one was calling themselves a passport bro in the 60s. I paused for a minute to make sure everybody made that sunk in. You sometimes, like when you get in your new modified bed, the newer ones, you have to wait a second to let it sink in for you to sink in. So it's basically a lie. She just lied again. I mean, she's basically a handler. She is basically a handler for basically a dude who just wants to use women. That's crazy. I mean, if she wanted to be an example of a negative form of a black mother, she's doing it right now. She's doing it right now in this right now. One of the most disrespectful. He made it clear he was being disrespectful to American women, black women in America. And she's supporting him. She is literally supporting this dude. Let's keep it going, though.
Well, before both of y'all will even thought about. So it's nothing new for a young woman from another country to date an American man. So it's not like it's a new project. But we are seeing it now because of the access, meaning YouTube and, Instagram and things of that nature. So they're letting us into their life. But if you really got a message for your women that you want them to preserve themselves and, be careful with that, we got to talk to the women. Men are going to be men. They're going to do what they want to do. So we really do have to talk to the men. And he's going to tell you.
What did she mean by that? Let's go over that one more time, because this is weird. It sounds like she just contradicted herself in real time. Let's go back.
They want to do. So we really do have to talk to the women. Men are going to be women that you want them to preserve themselves and, be careful with that. We got to talk to the women. Men are going to be men.
Okay. So she said, you got to talk to the women. Men are going to be men. Huh. Okay. So she's just basically giving dudes a pass. Just run through women. It's okay. Men are going to be men. It's just go ahead and let it happen.
They're going to do what they want to do. So we really do have to talk to the men. And
Now, why did she say that? But we really got to talk to the men. See, she's talking out both sides, three sides of her neck. She's trying to talk through three sides of her neck. Let's go over that one more time. I'm going to rewind just in case you didn't get it.
it has been passport bros, I think we said, since 1960. Well before both of y'all will even thought about. So it's nothing new for a young woman from another country to date an American man. So it's not like it's a new project. But we are seeing it now because of the access, meaning YouTube and, Instagram and things of that nature. So they're letting us into their life. But if you really got a message for your women that you want them to preserve themselves and, be careful with that, we got to talk to the women. Men are going to be men. They're going to do what they want to do. So we really do have to talk to them.
That's that term, boys will be boys, men will be men. That's like, this is mammying to the maximum extent. Mammying to the maximum extent right here.
The men, and he's going to tell you again too, I know, but as far as his situation in Brazil, it seems like it was made up.
Number one, the most obvious benefit of being in Brazil dating versus the United States is women do not hesitate coming back home with you. It is unbelievably easier. Got him. Got him.
And if someone makes up something on you that is negative, then that's what it is. It's negative. So he's got to fight that. He can't just embrace it and be like, this is what happened. He's going to fight that. And then hopefully the whole message of who he is will be turned around and they'll see exactly the kind of man that he is.
The word of the year for 2022 is gaslighting.
It's not on me that your hormones had a defect. My hormones worked when they were supposed to. Whenever I was 16, I think the highest sex drive I had ever had.
Now listen to the Keisha Ariel show.
Back up to 6. Now let's back up to 6. Let's talk about your hormones at 6 years old when you were watching at 6. Let's back up to that one. Y'all, he said it's normal for a boy to be watching and fetishizing Brazilian women at 6.
Yeah, grown Brazilian women.
Did you just hear him say, yeah, grown Brazilian women? So he's saying that, yeah, a 6-year-old should have those hormonal.
If you're in Brazil and you have not had intercourse in a long time, I'm sorry to tell you as a man, that's more than likely your fault. There's got to be something wrong with you. The women here do not weaponize it against you like they would in the States. Meanwhile, in the States, y'all have blue balls and y'all are over here, offing yourselves and.
You can't make this shit up, people.
All right. The flow is open. Feel free to come up if you'd like to. That was an interesting take. My focus is really not. It's not really on, Auston. It's not on Auston. It's really on the mammified vibe we're getting from the security boss. So it sounds like to me she's trying to secure women for sex mongers. That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, let me go back a little bit in this mix.
I'm leading by example.
She sounds like a handler for one of those penthouses, let me put it that way, that are trying to, convince, the women to do something that they don't want to do with some creep. That's what she sounds like. Rico, what do you think?
I agree wholeheartedly. I think this shit is sad and tragic. This is just, you know what? I'm at the point where this is what I really don't get. At this point in time, Austin has been out there in such a wide space. And I wonder, I'm like, how are all these people interviewing him and not know his arc or his story? How do people not know all this before you bring him up? They're interviewing him like he just started day one becoming a passport bro. This guy has this long history. He has this with the business, talking about porn at 6. We know his history of what he went through in Brazil, how that turned out. We see all that. So I'm like, why do they sit here and interview him like he's any young man looking to go out and explore the world when we know that that's not what he is? So I either say either they do zero research or either they agree with him. And if they don't do any research, that's why they're not qualified to be interviewing these people, because they make themselves look stupid trying to make it seem like he's this innocent, naive young man willing to go out and visit and explore these countries when he's doing textbook sex tourism. The woman in the video with them is saying, she's describing it's sex book tourism. And for her to regurgitate, like you said, this garbage about there's been passport bros since the 60s, it's utter bullshit. For a woman of her age, she should know better. That's the height of not only hypocrisy, but irresponsibility. Be careful about what you speak, but they build their platform. They get their likes and views. Mammy's got a mammy. That's all they care about. And because of all the likes and the thirst trapping and all of the echo chamber regurgitating of the nonsense they say, they actually think they're smarter than what they are. They're really not smart at all. So to me, it's really getting sad and tragic for this woman to be at her age. She's not 20.
Right.
She's not 20. I could get if she's a 20-year-old woman. I would still say that's too old to know better. But at her age, come on. Stop.
Yeah, the thing that's scary about it is that, it's funny because it's that hypocrisy again, because she has constantly disrespected single mothers and Black women in general, then turns around and basically plays a handler for a demented sex fiend. Yes. That's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's like, wait a minute. I would have thought she would want to distance herself from this man.
Right. And this is another example of someone else who lacks any sort of self-awareness. Because again, just like even before when you were doing, and I don't give a shit about Miss Michelle talking about me, I'm going to give your ass a lot more to talk about, because she's also extremely hypocritical for all the shit she's crying about today. See, I know the arc of all the shit when she was demeaning and bashing single mothers and Black women as well. She's been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I don't give a damn about the place you are if I know, okay, you're at a high today, but you was at a low yesterday. You was at a high the day before that. You was at a low. When you repeatedly, it's like a drug addict, okay? Oh, I can be an alcoholic, clean myself up, and then fall off the wagon again, clean myself up, fall off the wagon again, clean myself. Eventually, you would tell that alcoholic, I'm sick of this shit, because you have no consistency. So for the few times that you gotten clean, you can't start talking holier than thou when I know probably next week you're going to take another fucking drink. Right. Or a drug addict or a gambler, whatever the case may be. That's what these people are. They're addicted to the grip. They're addicted to the mammying. They can take themselves out of the mammying space and they miss the throngs of adulation, because in these spaces, when they're talking like this, you got to remember, they're getting a lot of adulation from a lot of goofballs like Auston, who run to people like her for that covering. So I kind of agree a little bit where, you know, we had the conversation yesterday where this is the type of person also that covers this.
Right.
That covers this sex tourism behavior. That's what it is. That's what the woman down there at the bottom of El Salvador is saying, because they don't go to El Salvador in the numbers that they go to the other whore traps, but they do it there too. And that bullshit that I just hear so many just made up discussions. Sugar try to say like sex tourism's been around for centuries. I'm like, no, it hasn't. People have had sex for centuries, but people wasn't traveling 100 years ago. People weren't going from country to country for sex.
Right. They weren't.
This is
they couldn't. Right. They didn't have planes.
This is a new phenomenon, and they wasn't getting on fucking boats for months to go get a piece of ass when they could get it in their own country. Right. This is a new phenomenon, and what makes it so bad, like you said, is the advent of planes, and it's men of low to no, it's low value men traveling the countries, exploiting poor women in those countries that are second class and socioeconomic situations. Nothing more. So why anybody's trying to pretend like,
can I tell you, can I break something down for you for real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you know that Auston, he's one of 5 kids, I believe.
What?
He's one of 5 kids.
Oh shit, I thought he was the only child.
No, he's not. He has 5 siblings. 3 he gets along with, 2 he doesn't. Or is it? No, it's 2 he gets along with, 3 he doesn't. His father, Papa, was a Rolling Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever he laid his hat was his home. A proud father of 5 baby mamas.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I'm not bringing this up to bash him. What I'm saying is this, is that, you know, he's got a little damage on him.
What you know what makes it a problem?
The issue I have is this. He wants to act all high end and sedity.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's the problem I have. He should be more understanding.
Yes.
But he's not. Now I'm saving some for Friday because I got this information from God dang it. Why did my memory just lose me? I got this information. Let me put it that way right now. Okay.
But you know, this is the problem, because like you said and say this, like I said, I mean, hell, my mama had multiple baby daddies. So I come from a background similar to his. But so that's what I really don't understand is how can you come from a background of some dysfunction, some struggle, some turmoil, and then have zero empathy for others? Because the way he talks, when he talks about women and that whole manosphere talking points, you would think that all of the men out of the manospheres came from 2-parent households,
right?
Upper middle class, you know, were very well educated. So I would get that if I looked at your background and you had all that stuff, I was like, okay, I see why you think like that, because that's the world you come from. But these motherfuckers come from, I'm like, how do you even talk like this when that's a world you've never seen? You've never seen that in real life. You've never seen it. You've never lived in a 2-parent household. You've never been married. So you're 40 years old and you've never lived in a household as a child or as an adult as part of a 2-parent household or as a child of a 2-parent household. But you talk like that's, I'm not saying it's not something to be aspired to, but how can you make that a demand when that's never been your lived experience?
Exactly. I mean, my point is this.
Went through the same lived experience.
What bothers me is this. Here's this woman right here. Let me see if I can get my pointer going. Here's this woman right here wanting to emulate being a mother, right? Let's say she's doing that. And here's this dude here she's treating him like a spoiled boy who gets anything he wants, even if it destroys other women.
Yes.
That's the disgusting part.
Yes.
And she wants to do it in mass. That's even worse.
Mhm.
And I guarantee you not, you can go back on one of her videos that she's talking about a single mother or a mother not bringing up the boy properly. I guarantee you not, because they always blame the woman. But here she is in a situation where she could come off as a role model. What does she do? She's literally pimping.
Right.
She's literally being that bottom bitch or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I don't know what's worse, whether she's as bad or Chantel is. It's crazy to me, because you would think that if they really wanted to help somebody, they simply put, they would not be doing and saying what they're doing and saying.
Right.
You know, it's that simple. But you know what sells? It sells. Toxicity sells.
Yes. But what I don't understand, they act like as if they couldn't talk to him. Like you said, and she's probably his mother's age, maybe a little bit younger than his mother. But I mean, she could be his auntie, older sister. Why can't they speak to him? And I could speak to Auston and not, be shaming him and beating him up, and speak completely just like we talk, like Auston. What you saying is wrong. That's not what you should be looking for.
Rico, we tried that months ago. We just forgot we did it.
Right.
I'm serious. We tried that months ago.
But what I don't understand is, unless they agree with what he's over there doing, why are they even excusing what he's doing? They're basically saying oh, it's nothing wrong. I understand, because they do this bullshit. Well, we're not gonna let them paint a narrative of you. He's painting the narrative his fucking self.
Wait, let me play that spot again where she was defending him.
Cultures, because not just because
I think we said since 1960. Well, before both of y'all will even thought about. So it's nothing new for a young woman from another country to date an American man. So it's not like it's a new project. But we are seeing it now because of the access, meaning YouTube and Instagram and things of that nature. So they're letting us into their life. But if you really got a message for your women that you want them to preserve themselves and be careful with that, we got to talk to the women. Men are going to be men. They're going to do what they want to do. So we really do have to talk to the men. And he's going to tell you again too, I know. But as far as his situation in Brazil, it seems like it was made up.
Number one,
she said it was made up.
Like we
that's why I had to do this. That's why I had to make this mix, this mega mix.
Obvious benefit of being in Brazil dating versus the United States is women do not hesitate coming back home with you. It is unbelievably easier.
Got him. Got him.
And if someone makes up something on you that is negative, then that's what it is. It's negative. So he's got to fight that. He can't just embrace it and be like, this is what happened. He's going to fight that. And then hopefully the whole message of who he is will be turned. And if someone makes up something on you that is negative, then that's.
If somebody makes up something on you that is negative.
So we all didn't see the video of him promoting sex tourism.
Right.
And if in fact he wasn't promoting sex tourism, he'd still have his black ass in Brazil.
Right.
We know this. So I'm like, come on, security boss. I mean, knock it off with somebody making something up on this boy. Ain't nobody making up nothing on this fucking boy. Nobody's doing that. And if you didn't take the time to look at the videos and to see what Stephanie Ribeiro's point of view was, shame on you for that.
Right.
How are you even going to have an objective opinion if you only listen to one side, and then all of a sudden a judge doesn't go, oh, Auston, tell me your side. I don't want to hear from the plaintiff, and then make a judgment on that. That's utter bullshit. Come on. But this is the same way they do this here. That's what they do when they're out there demonizing black women and single black mothers and saying they're not this and saying they're not that. They always look at the criticism that the black men come to her spaces complaining, oh, the woman, they not fit, they not this, they not that. But yet they don't bring up women to say what they have to say about the men. They just go, you right, yep, you right. Utter bullshit. That's why it's mammying. It's mammying because they're not even listening to both sides.
Exactly. I'm gonna bring up the second slide right now. Boom.
Crybaby cupcake. We got all the smoke in the world for Meg and the City Girls when they start talking about black women or even black men. But I see them minding their fucking business. That's what I see. Y'all always love to bring up Lizzo, Meg, and all these. Those people are minding their whole business, making a living, whether I agree with what they're doing or not. When they get into the public space of starting to criticize and critique regular people, we got smoke for them, but they don't do that.
All right, we're gonna react to this. If anybody else would like to come up, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Boom, there it go. And here we go.
Welcome if you are new. If you are old, thank you so much for supporting me, especially on this new channel. I really appreciate it. We are back with another video in this particular video, and what we're going to be reacting to and pointing out a few little things. I'm just going to be asking some questions. You know what I'm saying?
Juju's in the house.
Good point, Juju. Good point. Good point. I missed that. Can't complain about a woman's behavior when you're helping to create it. Great point.
Great, excellent point. Yep, Cupcake's in the house. Savon's in the house. Let's keep it going.
Because y'all, this video is some y'all.
This shit right here, nigga. This shit right here, nigga. Right here. This shit, nigga. This shit here, nigga.
It is tragic. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pull the video up and we're gonna get straight into it. We're gonna get straight into it because I'm gonna be pausing. Y'all know how I do. I'm gonna be pausing in the midst of it. So this particular video we getting into today is an interaction between Trill, AC stand for air conditioning, because that's the coolest nigga on YouTube right now after this conversation. Okay. It was a conversation between him and Chantel Simone, in which this conversation, I believe, based on this whole clips that I'm going to play highlight. Based on these clips, it came from a conversation that started on Security Boss's channel, in which apparently it seemed like she had a good conversation.
I would like to get Lucky's opinion on Security Boss. I am curious.
She got smoke for. That's my girl Lucky. I know her. She got smoke for. She's in the chat. If she's still in the chat, I'll ask her to hit the link. Lucky, if you're still in the chat, hit the link. You know this is Uncle Rico. If not, I'll hit her page. She got her own page and everything. She's got smoke for Security Boss.
Her channel, whatever she understood, she did a live about it, which was what she was understanding was totally different from what was said, in which Trill called in. So this is what we are going to be talking about today. Him calling in this interaction. So I'm gonna start it here because I want y'all to see.
Oh, fair use. In fact, let me get that up here.
Yeah, I don't think my girl Lucky gonna strike us. I hope not. I'll beg her not to. Now I don't know about the other mammy, Courtney Michelle, who got smoked.
No, she wanted to talk to you yesterday, but you know.
Talk to me anytime.
I was trying to. I was actually trying to find you around, but I couldn't find you in time.
Well, after them strays yesterday, I had to leave. I said, "Fuck this." I don't run from nothing.
He got a little hot in here yesterday.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, is it a safe space today? Well, go ahead.
I saw you tiptoeing out.
I'll leave your ass up there by yourself.
Yeah.
I couldn't ride with you yesterday.
I'm trying to see something.
I feel you.
play it first. So let me play it.
Oh, see, that's the link here. The link is, you don't even have to come up.
So this is Trail in the chat because she had been doing a live or whatever. She had been doing a live, and according to what was said in the live, she was misrepresenting what he was saying. So he was in the chat and he said, you know what, that's cap. So she told him to come up and he didn't have to come up. So let's go ahead and play.
You don't even have to come up. The link is right there. Game Changer, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Game Changers is his nickname for me is Lame Changer. He is one creepy dude. I will say that.
So I see that you want the gentleman behind the Cruise Season account to come up, but you're asking him to do it. What you need to do is ask his wife to offer poom poom in exchange for coming up.
See, that's how I told you he was creepy. This dude is demented.
You're negotiating with the, kind of like when you.
It's for somebody who hides behind his little chess piece all day. He sure has a lot of smoke for people. That's weird.
See, that was so unnecessary.
I agree.
That was so unnecessary. And y'all know how I like to do. We're going to have a conversation. I'm going to just ask some questions about what's being displayed here. So basically, you thought it was a masculine thing. Now we gonna be battling with femininity and masculinity on this whole conversation. Okay. Now y'all tell me, because I haven't been called masculine, but I definitely have been called a chameleon, all the YouTube terms, because they cannot figure out where to box me in. The one thing about me, I'm myself. Okay, flaws and all, mistakes and all of that.
If disagree with Obsidian and see what happens. They will be calling you masculine in a minute.
So we are going to be going back and forth from the shame that most women are getting, and the whole purpose of this space, right? Women are supposed to be feminine, men supposed to be masculine. How do you come in and the first thing you do is hurl an insult at this man's wife?
That's what low-end people do. That's what sociopaths do. That's what narcissists do. That's what they do.
Like, what type of masculinity is that? If we're going to
It's not. It's not masculinity.
actually start asking, I'm just asking a question. Just asking a question. He started it. He wanted to talk about his wife. What purpose was that? I thought it was attack the argument, not the person. But he clearly in his feels, or he's trying to, get next to Shani. So just go ahead and push.
You nailed it. He's trying to impress this girl that he'll never get. That's basically what's happening. I mean, back in the day, Rico, I don't know if you remember the term. Back in the day, we would call a dude like that a bish nigga.
Yes.
Kind of like he would hide behind things but would always want to talk smack when he thought he was safe, but he wouldn't stand on his own 2 feet.
Absolutely.
Have problems at a restaurant, you say, let me speak to your supervisor or get me your superior. And this is the same as if you were to call in customer service, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You always say, I want to speak to your superior. That is how you get results out of somebody. So the superior in this dynamic is the one with the poom poom. If you want the gentleman to come up, you speak to the poom poom.
It's like, what is he going on about?
That's just the dumbest shit. They just said.
It makes no sense. It's
Yeah,
like
right,
he's
like,
just
I
running a
gotta
run-on
talk to somebody
sentence.
with a vagina. That's so fucking stupid.
That's the type of men that Chantel draws. She draws these weak men that are demented, that all they think about all day is sex. That's all. Yeah. Not about building themselves, not about going to the gym, not about being the best they can be. Nothing. They just want to be. They want women to give them sex.
And what's
they don't want to earn it. They don't want to. They want women to be a resource, and that's it.
But what I don't understand is they just make up rules about shit.
Yeah.
How do you just make up rules about conversation and communication?
Exactly.
Oh, well, you can only talk to the one with the vagina. I'm like,
What
kind of communication fucking rule is that?
It's like, where in the hell did that come from?
Right. They just make it up and say, well, this is the way it's always supposed. I'm like, no, that's utter bullshit.
Exactly.
That's just the way you prefer things to be. But that's not a standardized, uniform way of communicating.
Right. Exactly. I mean, the thing is this. We're getting it's good education on getting into the world of sociopathic behavior. I'm not calling them sociopaths, but the behavior is exactly that. They're expressing what's in their mind. Nobody's telling them to say all this.
Right.
I mean, what he's saying is extra. It's like, why are you even, are you trying to roast him? If you're trying to roast him, it doesn't sound right. It sounds disgusting. Why are you talking about this dude's wife?
Right.
It's what? Yeah. Basically, why are you talking about this dude's wife? Isn't that seen in even on YouTube as being, a little bit out of bounds? And he's making a whole story of it. It's not even true. Wow.
I would like for your husband to come up. That's how you negotiate such.
You can hear the softness in his throat. How much I want to bet he wouldn't. This is the thing about online. Men be getting online behind these little pictures, child, and people, and they start feeling real confident.
Yeah.
Now, you already set a negative tone for this conversation. You already did that.
Yeah.
And she just giggling. What is Trill done? Trill represents itself as a respect.
Let me make it clear. She is definitely, Chantel Simone has definitely got that sociopathic vibe. She's the evil is her. Evil is her. And you could see it on every thumbnail she throws up.
Respectful man. He's married. He's a leader in his household, right? He's dominant. I think that in society, and what I've been learning since I've been in this space, is that a respectable man deserves respect, right? As from us as women. The whole point is we as women are so disrespectful to men, right? The average black man.
Well, this is there. The problem is what's defined as the average black man, because it's getting harder and harder to find us average black men, if you're talking about an average black man being a respectable black man. Because the problem, how this whole problem started, was that we stopped being respectable.
And what I would go a little bit further and probably disagree with Lucky a little bit here, because I think, it's like what's also considered disrespectful. So I don't know where this ideology came that, well, because I'm a man, I can behave a certain way. And as a woman, you're just supposed to take this shit.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, maybe I do see where there's a percentage of young ladies out here who are just disrespectful to everybody. I'm like, well, she was disrespectful to her mama, her daddy, her brothers, and everybody else. So you didn't get into a relationship with her and find out that that's part of her personality. That's who that person always was. However, if you got into a relationship with a woman who has always been respectful, and for some particular reason, she got disrespectful with your ass, 9 times out of 10, you did something that warranted it. But yet, as a man, you're going to take great umbrage at being disrespected, simply because how dare this woman disrespect me, completely overlooking anything that you did that may have provoked it. And I'm like, no, as a man, you got to know, like, hey, sometimes when my wife gets sideways with me and say something with me, I got to understand, look, did I ask for that shit? I probably did. So I just got to take that. I can't go just because I'm a man, she can't, raise her voice at me, especially like, when I've gotten on her about some things that she better not do. And then I turn around and do the same shit. And then she find out about it because I'm trying to hide it. So she's heated. I got to take that L. I can't go, I'm a man. That's just dumb.
Let me kick some shout outs. Quita's in the house. I believe Siobhan's in the house. Juju's in the house. Also in the house, Ree is in the house, and B Taylor TV is in the house, and Phyllis is in the house, and Pookie Prime is in the house.
So that's just the only thing I say is that I don't necessarily agree with this. I don't like the concept when we talk about disrespect. I don't like it to be women are disrespectful to men. No, people are disrespectful to people. People. It's not a man thing or a woman thing, because it's dudes out here that's just disrespectful to men and women. And there are women out here that are disrespectful to men. And, it's disrespectful ass people are just what they are. I don't think we should couch it in a male or a female. A woman can't be disrespectful, but a man can. That's
right.
Just insanity to me.
Yeah. See, the thing is this, is even as a man, I don't want a yes woman.
Hell no.
Because, with what Kevin Samuel said about men being logical and women being emotional is totally not true, because through history, it's clearly shown that men aren't. Otherwise, we wouldn't have as much war.
Yes.
On a general sense, as much war. Black men would have a lower
propensity to violence.
Would be in jail less than black women, right?
Yeah. What do you think causes violence?
Let me break it down like this. There are more black women there are black men, but as someone admittedly said yesterday, there are way more black men in prison than there are black women. I mean, it's like a lot more. So
10-1.
So I'm not saying that black men who go to prison are all bad, but let's say they made enough bad choices that put them into prison. Meanwhile, women obviously didn't make those same choices because they're not in prison. So obviously, who's more logical? The person who's not in prison or the person who is in prison?
Right.
It's that simple. And it goes to different things. I guarantee right now, black women and black men are equal as far as buying houses. I think black women are even leading now.
I think they're ahead. Yeah, they're ahead.
Yeah.
There are more black women who have ownership than black men.
So how does that happen? I mean, it doesn't. I mean, why? Because they were able to. Illogical women were able to buy houses.
I know. I don't
make sense.
So that's why I sit and say is I hate couching, other than sexually or physically. I don't differentiate between men and women as far as emotionally, intellectually. I think we have differences, but I don't think either one is superior to the other. I do not think men are intellectually superior to women. I just don't believe in that. Anybody else, you can believe in whatever you want. I think that we intellectually look at things differently, emotionally react differently. But to place, well, this one is better than this one, I'm like, no, you look at the spectrum of emotions. In a lot of places, I would much rather we follow the emotional stability of a woman than a man.
Right.
And a lot of emotional structure to me. But that doesn't mean everything. It just means it is what it is.
Right.
So I just think that the whole conversation around the disrespect or whatever, yes. And at the end of the day, as I always say, it's a lot of dudes out here that are behaving in a way that they need to be disrespected. I'd much rather they get disrespected by a man, because some of them emotionally won't be able to handle being disrespected by a woman and will resort to violence.
Right.
See what I'm saying? That emotion that they claim they don't have. If a woman disrespects him, the first thing his emotion does is make him resort to violence against a woman.
Exactly.
So that's why I said, like, what the hell are we talking about? Well,
okay. I'm gonna play more of this video here.
Yep.
I'm sitting up here a little bit confused.
Me too.
Because I'm trying to understand what's funny about what was just said.
There's nothing funny about it. There's just nothing. It's just them being creepy.
I don't know. We're gonna push play.
Because with that, I mean, I get where you're going, because with his logic, the pum pum controls the man. The pum pum have power.
Exactly.
Pum pum have leverage. I want you to touch on that leverage part, because I saw you put that in the chat. What was your interpretation of him saying that you have leverage over men because you have a vagina?
Well, it's a very it comes from the perspective of a person who looks at vagina as scarce. Okay, so if you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? At the very bottom, you have.
And as I said earlier, that's not the topic for today.
Yeah. We don't really care. Do we care what he's saying? No.
Exactly. I did the same.
It's dumb.
SheSo Lucki. I did the same thing. Dude just can run you on forever and says nothing.
What's this narrative?
And says nothing.
What's this narrative that they have that vagina is hypnotic?
This guy, I'm telling you, the guy's a creep.
But I keep
creep.
hearing a lot of people say like vagina. All of a sudden, a woman shows you her vagina, and
right,
every man is in a fucking trance.
Oh yeah, I got a little speech about that coming up real soon.
This. I might want a piece of ass, but it ain't controlling me.
Sir, we don't really.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Yeah, no, you already put salt on it. You was disrespectful. We don't even know what the fuck you look like. Like, next, let's go to the juice, y'all. So look.
The main question I have is, why would you encourage women to have control or leverage over men when men are supposed to be the leaders in the community?
Okay, quickly. For one, like I said, I'll repeat it for the third time. I think I said it twice on that show, was that, it's not necessarily leverage to finesse a man. It's leverage to get rid of the riffraff. A lot of women, let's just be honest here, don't have the right self-esteem, don't have the right tutelage, don't have the right experience to be able to pick a solid man.
Neither do men. The reverse for men. That's why.
Booyah.
Right. So again,
otherwise there wouldn't be. Otherwise, if men had such high self-esteem, there wouldn't be a red pill. There just wouldn't.
And
everybody, everybody would be doing what they, everybody be happy.
And for the most part, like he sitting there and said, is if he talk, most men, we don't pick on character base. Even all these fucking goofballs in the manosphere who have this long list, they talk about vetting. At the end of the day, they all vet the same way as non-manosphere men visually. What they see, they like, oh, she's cute, she got a big butt. Is she gonna give it to me? That's what we do, and it's just we are poor. We're very poor when it comes to choosing. We don't do well.
No, I think really, quite honestly, and it's clear that men. The thing is this: men have we have twice as many sexual partners as black women do. So
yes, twice.
We're obviously making more mistakes than they are. So how red pill can bring up a woman's mistake is questionable when they're making it's different if they were working towards fixing their own mistakes, but they're not even doing that. And here's the funny part. So they get, you heard the whole thing about security boss saying, oh, well, if a woman it's up to a woman and whether she wants to give it up or not, and blah, 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 blah. Then they want to say that, then they want to call a black woman, if a black woman gives it up, what do? They call them a hoe, right?
Yep.
If they don't give it up, then these guys want to get a passport.
I know.
And if that's pretty much what it is, right? I mean, it's crazy.
When that's the case, then you tend to deal with men who are beneath you, or you tend to deal with men who are not worthy of you. And that's why a lot of y'all turn into baby mamas, and a lot of y'all deal with men who, again, waste y'all time, right? So what I meant when I said that leverage, right, is to leverage the right type of man for you to be with. It's not necessarily leverage to control the man. That is not what I said. So again, it's cap again.
You want to know something though? this is one thing I completely disagree with. This whole poom poom thing, it needs to stop, because you know what stops this is a black woman who's educated. It's what it's doing is when you get educated, it's right there. You're going to start, you have the ability to filter other men out, because you can get what you need.
Yep.
This whole traditional thing is a no-go. Mm-hmm. That whole rap about it, it's a no-go. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying force yourself to be a per se modern woman, but don't force yourself to be a traditional woman, because these dudes that's just a talking point. They've dogged out traditional women. All these men on this, all these men, all of these men in this red pill system, they have dogged out traditional women and left them for dead.
But look, even non-traditional women that are just good women, because they're good. So this whole narrative around tradition, I'm like, you got good modern women.
Right.
The term modern women is not a dirty term. My wife is a modern woman, and damn good.
And get
the
this.
world is full. This country is full of great, outstanding, hardworking, honest, loving, loyal, beautiful, committed, modern women who don't
exactly.
necessarily
And
have to
the thing
believe
is this. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the sad. Here's more hypocrisy for you. Okay. I never heard security boss going in on her people in her chat. She doesn't go in and say, "So you men got to pick it up. You guys got to get right. When you meet a woman, you got to treat her right." You see what I'm saying? What does she do? She acts like a pimp. She acts like a pimp.
And also, Cap, is again like trying to paint it as I'm saying, okay, hey, box is it. That's all you got to bring to the table. We can rewind.
Make sure you guys like the video.
What I said.
Do you want us to watch? Do you want to? Because I did show it twice. Did you want me to?
Make sure you like my live, and make sure you like her video. Make sure you like my live. Make sure you like her video.
Say again while you're here, so we can see exactly what you said.
You can replay it 100 times. I was there. I know exactly what I said.
Unsolicited security boss. We will replay it, and then wherever you want, because I'll pause it where I need what I'm talking about, the purpose of it.
Okay. So in this particular scenario, I just want to point out, since when does leverage automatically mean something negative?
There it is. There it is.
Because men have financial leverage.
You want to eat that little thing she just said right there? Mm-hmm. That's why she's on the show, because that is extremely logical right there.
Who's Gwen? Read Gwen's comment, whoever that is.
Okay, let's see, Gwen.
Yeah. Oh, right there, Gwen Johnson.
Okay, there we go. Oh wait. Okay, there we go. Right. It doesn't matter what you are; they will remind you of what you are, not in order to disqualify you. Any excuse to not marry or settle down. Yep.
That's a great point.
Yep.
That's a great point. Yeah. And you know what? They don't even have to remind you of it. They'll make some shit up.
Yeah.
They will make up something that you are not, just to have an excuse not to do exactly. You're absolutely right, Ms. Johnson.
Yeah.
They'll make it up.
Yeah. I mean, right here, I need to bring it back here just for a second. Mm-hmm. She's the run-through queen. She's literally trying to make women lower their guard so creeps like him can have their way with them. That's what she's doing. That's what she's doing. Until I see something different, until I see her actually really teaching somebody how to be a grown-up, that's my conclusion about her. Back.
Let's just listen to it before I start.
This whole entire stream, and then I'll have you I'll have you say what you meant, and then we can talk about how it's interpreted and how it's been interpreted in the community.
Sure.
All right. And I'm sorry again. Game Changer, Arpin, and EJ, I'm gonna just ask y'all to stay muted, and Security Boss and Trill, feel free to chime in, since it was you two were on the panel yesterday. I think that's just fair. All right, let's continue.
The box. I've noticed myself, we're not gonna lie about it, that women are not listening to men, especially in these spaces. They asked us to just listen, and we don't, or we won't. They say, "Can you cut your nails down a little bit?"
Now she's this is what you call gaslighting. This is why I played that other video. This is what you call gaslighting.
Chime in, since it was you two were on the panel yesterday. I think that's just fair. All right, let's continue.
The box. I've noticed myself, we're not gonna lie about it, that women are not listening to men, especially in these spaces.
That's absolutely untrue. I just want to make that point.
Asked us to just listen, and we don't, or we won't. They say, "Can you cut your nails down a little bit?" And we say no.
Who in the hell is telling you to cut your nails down?
Right.
I mean, first of all, if you're dating somebody and their nails are too long for you, then just don't date them. It's that simple.
What man is telling a woman to cut her nails?
I have never heard that in my life.
I don't even know what occasionally when my wife get them old stupid long nails, I notice. Other than that, I don't know. I don't look at stuff like that.
I mean, I would see if a man, let's say a woman's nails are
it would have to be that long, garish looking stuff. Other than that, I get in trouble all the time. Like, I got my hair cut. I'm like,
you know what? It makes me think. It makes me think. Where does this woman live? Does she live in, like? It sounds like she's making it sound like she lives, in the hood near a nail shop or something. It's like that's the thing is what they try to do is they try to grab the worst examples we have in our community. But what's funny is they don't do that for the male. They only do it for the female, for the women. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We won't. It's like waking up.
Dante, I see you. You see if you can. Your device is coming up a little weird. See if you can fix it.
Natural hair, and we say no, we won't. Make your dress a little longer. If you just do that, maybe we can get together.
See what it
starts in 10 minutes.
That is the weirdest shit I've ever heard. She's acting like these women don't dress well. I mean, the thing is this.
Starts in 10 minutes.
This is why she keeps convincing me she's a pimp. Because only a pimp would say something like that. Because the thing, fellas, it's like this. If the women's skirt is too short for you, or you don't like her nails, or whatever, then just don't date her. She's not forced. She'll be okay. Don't worry, she'll be okay.
Yeah.
So
that's what I don't get. I'm like, whatever you don't like about that woman, then that's the one you guys cry about weight. The same way you can look at a woman, you be like, oh, she's too heavy for me. You don't sit there and beat her up about losing weight. You just say, I'm not going to date her because she's too big for me.
Right, exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Same thing with the nails or any other. Oh, you don't like women with weave. Okay, you see a woman with weave. You don't make her take it out. You just say, hey, because a woman has a right to present herself any damn way she chooses.
Well, look, what's funny is that it comes from she's being all picky about how women should dress. But here's this dude here in some ugly old t-shirt. You see what I'm saying? Here's this dude who's inside, but he's wearing a cap on. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, well, then they don't understand that, hey, it goes for both people. And that's probably why they don't get chosen.
Right. Right.
No, I won't. But even though we are not as cooperative as we should be, Trill has noted that the power is in the box. So the woman,
the power's not in the box. If it's in any box, it's up in the brain because I mean, if that they're trying to make it seem like, you know what it is? It's not even that. It's really the reverse. It's that men give up their power.
Right.
They do. Men give up their power. If they simp hard, it's funny because a logical woman who's well dressed, like per se, let's take Lucky, for example. She's respectably dressed, and you know the gold chain is popping and everything. You know she got just the right amount of makeup. No, are they lining up for her? They might be, but no. But what they're lining up for is the IG models.
Yes.
Their complaint, their beef really is with IG models.
Who they
keep going back
they
to
will
them.
never win that beef because
Yeah.
they can't touch them with a 10-foot pole. IG models don't want them, and that's what they're upset about. They're upset about the very women that they want and desire the most.
Right.
IG models, thoughts, don't want them.
Exactly this. Look at it like this. She's trying to act like she's talking about, all black women. But as we see, it's perfect proof here. She has no nails, no tattoo on her forehead. You see what I'm saying? But she's not going to highlight her. She's going to highlight some IG model or an OnlyFans model.
Of course.
And that's because she's a pimp. That's because this woman here, right here, is a pimp. She doesn't know she's acting like one, but she is being one. Because you don't defend creeps, and she does.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually has the power to influence the man to do things that he may not normally do.
Clarify that point, please. SB said, Trill noted that the power is in the box, so the woman has the power to influence a man to do through her box.
No, see, I got to stop it right there. Just through her box crap. I mean, women are women. Men are men. We both have our genitalia, or whatever you want to call it. But it's the intelligence. See, this is just another pot shot at intelligent black women. That's all this is. It's just another pot shot. It's really a grade school pot shot at that. Because that has no relevance. If really the power of the box really had power, then women would be running the whole world. Right?
Yeah.
If that was true, right? Yeah. They would be running everything. They're not running everything.
Influence a man to do what he will not normally do.
Who understood that? So this is what I understood listening to it. I understood that if we look at everything in society, just look at just vagina in itself, it is the most influential thing that we see displayed even in front of us. It influences everything that we talk about, this whole manosphere. It influences sexual liberation. It also influences how a man respects you, right? So when we're talking about leverage, we're talking about getting to a higher place than what you are. I'm not sure how leverage can be misinterpreted, but I can get what she's saying, right? She's saying that people hearing this are going to say, you know what? I should just keep leveraging my vagina and manipulating men. But the bad part is when it says...
My point is this. Men manipulate themselves. They shouldn't be so hungry, so thirsty to the point where, number one, you give up your leverage because the women know you're thirsty, right?
Absolutely.
That's like going to a car dealership and saying, "Oh, I must have this car. I gotta have this car." What are they going to do? They're going to give you they're not going to give you any deals on it.
Nope.
It's just natural.
Right. Yeah, because you're thirsty.
Yeah, exactly. So if the thing is this: is all these women on this chat, Chantel and Security Boss are doing is really exposing men for their thirst. Because if a man didn't care, if you don't care about what, the box, you'd probably be better off because the box would come to you then. But they're so thirsty, they run to the box. So they're giving away that they're following at the very least, but it's really all red pill, by the way. They're just, the problem they have is in front of their face, and it's extremely simple. They're just too damn thirsty. They know it. Chantel knows it. Boss knows it. And I'm sure Lucky knows it.
Yep.
Men, it can actually influence men to do something they normally wouldn't do. A man normally is not going to do a lot of things, even if it's good for a woman. It has to be a woman in place. Shout out to Ricky. For the right woman, he will make the necessary changes, right? What really you change on your own. But the truth of the matter is there are certain women that have leveraged themselves, aka, I'm gonna just say what it is, could have a certain level of respect when it comes to their vagina, to the point where men respect them a lot more. So a lot of things that they normally wouldn't do, they would start to do for a woman who is leveraging her vagina in the right way. Leveraging does not.
The sad part is this. Men you shouldn't have to change a man. You shouldn't have to change a man. He should already be in the mental space that he needs to be in. That's the point of being a man. That's the part of being a man. I understand, struggle love and coming up and all that other stuff. I understand that. But ladies, I can tell you, it usually don't turn out right. And a lot of you already know it don't already turn out right. So that I do, but I don't disagree, but I do feel that it's you shouldn't have to leverage anything for a man. They should have been already on board, like you're going to be on board.
And why would you want a relationship where you have to leverage sex to get cooperation?
Right.
Any more than I, as a man, would want to have to leverage finance to get cooperation. If you're not in a relationship where you're having to, that's a transactional relationship or a transactional marriage where she's only going to give you the pussy to get you to do certain things or to behave in a certain way. And you only going to give her the money to get her to do certain things or to behave in a certain way. You're not doing it for each other. So even if I know, okay, I have financial leverage over my wife or my woman, if I have to resort to that, that's not the person for me. I should never have to resort to leverage for a partner.
Right.
Should never, like people always say, oh, women, they using sex. The first thing a man cry about, oh, they use sex as a weapon. You see what I'm saying? Well, why would you be? I'm not going to be in a relationship with someone who uses sex as a weapon. That's exactly insane. I shouldn't do that with money. That's insane.
Well, see, the thing is this, it always, are we men or not? That's what it comes to. When you see those army movies, or you see those Rumble movies or something, there's always a guy in there saying, are we men or not?
Mm-hmm.
If you have to fiddle around with a woman saying, oh yeah, you're and try to manipulate her into doings, then you're not being masculine, because masculine is supposed to be, okay, I'm a man, I got my shit together. You see what I'm saying? Let me see what happens, because that's what all the men that are not on these appeal systems are doing. They're just basically just being dudes, and the women come to them. Men don't seem to realize the biggest enemy they have is thirst, is their own thirst, their own thirstiness,
which they're using to weaponize against themselves.
Exactly.
That lust, you're taking your own lust. Your lust is being used against you because you don't have the ability to control it.
Right.
That's the first thing a man should do, is should be able to master a man should be able to master his own desires. Because if you don't learn to master your desires, you will forever be a slave to them.
Right.
We all have them, but you have to master your own desires, because it'll make you do things that you know you should not be doing.
Right.
Out here manipulating men. And let me just break this down.
Let me bring it back because she made it good. Okay, let's go.
This have a certain level of respect when it comes to their vagina, to the point where men respect them a lot more. So a lot of things that they normally wouldn't do, they would start to do for a woman who is leveraging her vagina in the right way. Leveraging does not necessarily mean that I'm going to be out here manipulating men. And let me just break this down. We didn't need Trill to state the obvious for us to know what has been happening since Adam and Eve. How in the hell did she get him to eat the apple? We gonna sit up here and act like it wasn't sex? Samson and Delilah, how did he get comfortable enough to get his hair cut off? Do you think they was just having coffee? Or was he laid up in his most vulnerable state in bed? We can take it to the street.
Could be love. I'm just throwing that in. Could be love.
Could be love.
If I want to rob you and you are a man, and I want to rob you or get something done, me as a woman, I'm going to make you think that it is so many scenarios. Like he's gonna say soon, it is so many scenarios, such as we see Bill Gates, we see what's going on. Every time you look up, somebody else is getting a divorce in these type of situations based on infidelity. We see how men lose a lot of things, lose their fucking minds. We see in these spaces where a lot of the conversations is to shame women into not having standards to sleep with them quicker. We have body count conversations. Why are we having all these conversations based around how the misuse of a woman's vagina if the power was not in her vagina? Now, I'm trying to figure out, if you disagree and you think the power is not in a woman's vagina, then where is her power lie? And do not say her mindset.
It's not mindset, but it's in her personality. I've seen women who are not that attractive get very quality men because there's just something about their vibe.
Yeah, well, the term was called, we used to use DJ, I would be like, she mind fucked me. You don't see it coming. You don't see it coming. Those are the people who you put your guard down and you think that maybe you wouldn't find an appeal to them, and they get so deep into you that you're mind fucked.
Right.
A woman that can comfort you the right way. So I'm like, yeah, it's out there. It exists. And they don't have to be unattractive, but they're not wholly overly attractive. It's not what you would have thought you would have wanted.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of guys sprung like hell, and it's not the physical. It just isn't. That's just
Those women are not.
Go ahead.
Listen, they're not working with a full deck of cards. So therefore, and we are very emotional. So I could say she would have a good disagreement or an argument if she said, you know what, the most powerful thing on a woman is most powerful thing about a woman is femininity. But the reason why that can't even be the case is because men are still open to sleeping with women who aren't feminine. Welcome to the conversation of where I've introduced to these streams and everything in these whole conversations is where women are not feminine. Women aren't this. They still sleeping with them. They are sleeping with the most roughest, masculine of the bunch, these type of women. And guess what? You have men who are going crazy. You have men.
Oh my God, she brought up a good point. Let me bring up Kate. Let me bring up wait, I'll be right there. Hold, let me bring that up here.
She can't hear you. Hold on.
They're gonna think you have to wait.
Yeah, they make a frog leg.
Let me
They
bring
said
it back
feed
here.
me well
Wait.
so y'all can harvest my organs later. I hate on did it, but
I guess my point is this: she ain't that feminine. Kate ain't.
Oh no, she's
Flaccid.
feminine, but not that. I mean, I believe all women are feminine. It's just to what degrees.
Right.
But,
right.
but that's her culture. I don't think they're over. I think they're what they conflate also with femininity is just niceness.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, just a woman. Oh, that's so feminine. I'm like, no, that's just a person being nice because she ain't cussing your ass out, because maybe you didn't give her a reason to, or you dismiss, like they go to these other countries, they dismiss the treatment that they give to these women. So they act like they walking around smacking them up, calling them all kinds of names, and the women are still smiling in their face. I'm like, no, you simps go over there and do things for them that you wouldn't want to do for a woman back here. And then you go, oh, look at how feminine they are. Yeah, you're treating her like a lady, but women back home, you want to treat less than and call them names. Treat them like Austin probably never, you see the way Kate was with him. I'm like, but he probably never treated a young black lady back here like that.
Right. See, that's the thing is that the whole complaint that Austin was having, he never told you how shitty he treated those women.
Right.
He never did. And he doesn't understand what karma is. So
and who can't take rejection, a lot of different things behind vagina. They are also I don't even want to get into all the certain crazy scenarios, but the simple fact that this is a basic concept that we have been talking about for I don't know how long. And we are going to sit up here and act like a woman's most valuable possession is not tied into how she take care of her body. When you tell a little girl, you tell your daughter, you sit up there and you tell your daughter, hey, keep your legs closed, clink, clink, lock it down, respect yourself. You want to know why? Because there was a tale.
that's what Cynthia G tells everyone. So it sounds like to me even though a lot of people might not like Cynthia G, she is really actually the okay, and even Security Boss. Remember in the last one how she was saying that women need to tell women, how to act. But it's funny, they don't like Cynthia G.
I know.
So
that says, and that ain't a lie. So I don't even know why they call it a tale. But you get more goodness out of a man that you want, that you respect, if you withhold it.
she's right. She's right. You'll get more respect out of a man.
Mm-hmm.
It's that right. I mean, not forever, because he gonna we gonna leave, but it's just men are dumb.
Right.
Once you give it up and you have no other value, trust me, once you give that up, now this is when he starts to be a little bit different. This is why a lot of women's stories are and have been for years. Yeah, after we had sex, he didn't call me back. He was chasing you this whole time, wanting and doing all these different things. Soon as he got to it, he was no longer that interested. So let's go ahead and play. That's what I understood, but y'all let me know. Let's see.
You want me to clarify? Or either one. Actually, before you clarify, let me say what the message is interpreted as, right? A woman can use her vagina to influence men to do what he should not normally do. We know that the hierarchy is God, man, woman, children. Why would a woman need to use her vagina to influence a man to do what he's not normally going to do when that's not her role? That would be out of order. As a woman, it's not our job to be influencing men to do anything. It's a man's job to lead, and we should follow.
It's not a woman's job to influence a man to do anything.
Boom. Bars.
So are we just dumb? Are we just dumb rocks? And what is the point of being with women? Or is that what's going on? Like, there is no value in a woman. She can't influence a man, not even in a good way. Influence is not negative. It depends on with that power, what you do with it. Women are definitely influential. We wouldn't have a whole feminism situation. We wouldn't have a whole slew of years of women in power, not because they were sitting in the president's chair, based on their influence, on how they carried themselves, on how they decided to think, on the culture and the mindset they continue to teach to younger girls and younger generations that have gotten us here today, based on the misuse of our bodies. So I'm trying to figure out if the argument is that that is not the case. Women cannot influence men at all. We shouldn't, that's out of order. What is it in those situations where she has a role herself, he has a role himself? So you mean to tell me there are no successful men? When we're talking about building, I need a man to get on my, I need a woman to get on my program. I need a woman to do all these things to help me reach these heights. Is she not helping influence him? Is she not being a really good, what is that saying? Behind every great man is a great woman? Are we trying to say Michelle Obama did not influence Obama in no type of way to help him aid in his journey? That doesn't make him not a leader just because she has a particular position to influence him. I'm gonna need us to stop thinking that influence is negative. I'm gonna need us to stop doing that. Let's just watch.
That's how I interpret it. Either one can go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. So again, you interpreted it wrong for the fourth time. I think I've said this. It's not to interpret a man to do what he's or he wouldn't normally do or things of that nature. Again, it's to distinguish the men who are there to be with you long term in comparison to the men who are there to be with you just to smash and move around. That's what I'm saying. Leverage meaning that hold out on the sex. Wait. Let me finish, please.
See, now they're trying to get him off because he's now talking about how there are men who just want to smash.
Yep.
But we know that we can call them the Pookie queens or the smash queens. They don't want none of that. They want men, their following to be able to exploit women. That's basically what they want.
And what they have to also stop doing is they have to stop thinking that Pookie behavior only fits within a certain socioeconomic status. Because men wanting to smash is men making $20,000 a year, men making $200,000, men making $2 million.
Right.
It just runs the spectrum. So they always classify these narratives like only certain people, black men in the ghetto making no money, is the only ones that behave like this, when that's utter bullshit. Like they're the only single fathers, or they don't, like I'm like, they fit. Terrible behavior crosses all racial economic spectrums. It's just bad, shitty behavior. And a lot of it comes out of ideology and thought processes, not how much a person makes, what their race is, or where they live.
Right.
It may be higher in some areas than others, but it crosses over and it infects everything.
Exactly. The funny thing that keeps bothering me is that both Chantel and Security Boss make a point of not discerning a good, describing or defining a good man between a good man and a Pookie, because most of their men are Pookies. So they don't want to insult them because they be throwing super chats.
I know.
You take that super chat money. They should be taking that super chat money to the therapist, but they don't do that.
Right. And you got to realize whether they will admit it or not, probably the majority of their audience are Pookies and Ray Rays.
Exactly.
That's the majority of their audience. They will not admit it, but probably 80-90%, those Pookie and Ray Rays love hearing that because they believe these are the women that's going to get these other women in check to make them set them up so I can run through them.
Exactly.
That's what they're super chatting. Come on, mama. Ma Dukes, come on back here and tell them, Ma Dukes, tell them they need to act right. They need to act right to soften them up. But I wouldn't let my daughters listen to none of these damn fools. Are you crazy?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
But that's what it is. 90% of their audience. Because a man who's not a Pookie and Ray Ray and already has some sense about themselves, they don't need to listen to them.
Exactly.
You're not offering me anything that I don't know. So why would I waste my time listening to you? I'm not even going to waste my time listening to a male content creator because I don't need the services of a content creator to tell me what I already know because I'm already doing it. So it's only these dysfunctional, empty-headed people who need to listen to them, tell them this shit. That's the problem.
Exactly.
You're let my dog finish.
Jumping the gun because you're going to talk about leverage. We're talking about
Chantel, let me say this really quick.
To help us out, Skitty Boss.
Let me say this really quick. That particular point came from the conflict resolution part 1. So you were not there. So it kind of led in from that particular conversation from part 1.
How in the hell is he supposed to? It ain't content, whatever right now. So just tell him to give him a recap.
That was how we left part 1, and it came from a statement of still men being the head, women's roles. How can we make sure that men are in authority, and what is keeping them from being in authority?
Okay, so
which is themselves.
When you said that, and Deep in the chat said, what he normally wouldn't do. What I'm trying to understand, SP, if a man is the head and a man is the leader, as women, if
the man has to be a leader first.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't subscribe. That's another thing. I'm like, leadership is not gendered. Leadership is leadership. It's not gender. It's not a gender thing.
Right.
Leadership
You either got it or you don't.
Qualities. It's not a gender thing.
Right.
Using our box to influence a man to do what he normally wouldn't do, aren't we then out of order?
No, who we're speaking to are the men who actually allowed this to happen. See, if more men would actually deflect the box or women would preserve the box, we wouldn't have this issue. And that's where he was speaking.
Isn't it up to the man to be the leader even before getting the box? We
were talking about it there. So let's talk about that. Again, you were not there, so it was a little bit off for you. So when he's picking back up with it, you managed to turn it around because he's talking not to the.
Hey, me and SB had our disagreements, right? But she funny. She funny. She is funny.
Women with you have all the power and all the leverage. He's talking to the men. Stop allowing this to trip you up. This is what you got to do. But he also clarified that for you, though. When you said you didn't understand, he said,
because that's why I'm breaking. That's why I'm breaking down the video in part, because what he just said was that
you haven't played that part. You have not played that part.
No, the part that you said. Yeah, I haven't gone that.
Chantel, we're waiting for you to look at on your list of talking points, please, Chantel, and hurry up. I know you missed your list. You might have got off the screen, Chantel.
The part where you said, Trill said on the last show that the power is in the box, so a woman can influence a man to do what he wouldn't normally do.
I did not say influence a man to do what he wouldn't normally do. Please stop saying that. That is misrepresentation of my point. Please, thank you.
May I chime in for a second, please?
Wait, hold on, James.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are a guest. Okay, so I guess you're gonna sit right there. Okay, let the grown folks who actually had the conversation have the conversation. We heard what you had to say. You was already disrespectful. You disrespected his wife. We don't really care what you gotta say. Okay, just sit down.
They say part. So let's.
And before you
can
do that,
put your nails down a little bit.
Know this.
Say no. Pardon me.
Hold on. Let's also know this. Cruise Season, SB Nation, anyone that's on this in this particular panel that rocks with me, we advocate for men. That's something that just has to be known. We don't do the opposite. If a woman is disruptive, out of order, we preach order all the time. So over here, some of that is already a given. You just
advocate mostly for dudes who act wrong, like this dude right here.
But why do men need advocacy?
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
That shows you how weak. Again,
I don't understand. I've never had an advocacy a day in my life, and I never advocated for another man and never will.
No, those are weak. There's that room is full of weak men. That's what it is.
I don't know where that space is where a man needs advocacy for them if you're a man.
It's called being pitiful.
Yeah.
I mean, she obviously knows nothing about men because she said she messed up, and so she doesn't know how to help men in general.
Right.
She's emulating like she knows how to help men, but she's just making them feel good. And so both of them are really just running game. That's all.
And I mean, not that I couldn't listen to a woman, but if I'm a man, I just don't understand why I would go to a woman.
Right.
Because is it strictly about you telling me about women only? You're not telling me about life in total. Because I would rather talk to somebody that's going to give me a holistic approach about becoming a better man in a relationship, in work, in everything.
Exactly.
And I would rather to a man tell me how he did.
Right.
But that's just
which tonight we have Kevin Samuels, and the only problem is that he's probably not the perfect example, but we will be discussing him tonight.
SB, I'm gonna hold you to that, because you do preach order. You do preach women being out of order, and you are known for having your own way of calling it out, right?
The only problem is when she do stuff like this and defends a man who definitely has a lot of work ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
From another country today, an American man. So it's not like it's a new project. But we are seeing it now because of the access, meaning YouTube and Instagram and things of that nature. So they're letting us into their life. But if you really got a message for your women that you want them to preserve themselves and be careful with that, we got to talk to the women.
How about talking to she doesn't want to talk to her men about, hey, be respectful. Don't try to be horny. Don't get thirsty. I can give better advice than her in one day than she's given all the time she's had her channel. Mm-hmm. Fellas, listen closely. I'm about to give you some advice. One, the number one thing is raise your self-esteem if it's low. Two, yes. Don't be thirsty, but this also is locked into your self-esteem. Don't be thirsty. Women know you're thirsty before you know you're thirsty. Do not try your best. I'm telling you, if you want a relationship, this is what's going down. Do not be thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be like this dude and have to fly 6,000 miles just to have a successful dating life, which he's not successful because he got kicked out of one place already right now. You don't want, and that's number 3. Don't follow idiots. Don't find the right role model for you. Just because you like somebody or the fact that they're getting laid all the time doesn't mean they're going to help you. Doesn't mean that their path is going to help you. You must focus. The number one thing is just don't be thirsty. That'll solve a lot of problems right there. Do whatever you need to do not to be thirsty. It might be therapy. It might be reading self-help book. It might be just working out at the gym. It might be talking to friends that are successful. It might be focusing more on what you should be doing, which is building yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that simple. It's that simple.
Men are going to be men. They're going to do what they want to do. So
that sounds like a pass to me. I understand what she's saying, but she's supposed to be changing that.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be changing men into being leaders, right?
But
She's
by
not
that
doing any of
narrative,
that.
I would never state it that way because all men are not the same.
Right.
So as people are going to be people.
Right.
So if a person, like you said, you know, you could tell a man to get a hobby. If a person just is a sex fiend, then that's all they're ever going to think about is ways to get sex with the next person.
Right.
If a person is more interested in some other thing, you know, it's not difficult. And just like she said, men will be men, women will be women. They have their vices and different things that may not necessarily be the best. And they too must learn to conquer their desires and demons. We all have to. That's called being an adult.
Exactly. Now, I need to remind everybody, this is the type of man you do not want to be serious with.
Number one, the most obvious benefit of being in Brazil dating versus the United States is women do not hesitate coming back home with you. It is unbelievably easier to get. If you're in Brazil,
And this is where is it? That's who the celebrity, I mean, the unsolicited boss wants to defend. She's literally defending him, trying to get him back to Brazil so he can run through more women.
And he's giving an explanation on how to do sex tourism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know why you didn't call it out in real time in this conversation. These type of conversations, and y'all gonna say these type of conversations.
Let me go back a little bit.
Why we don't really care what you gotta say. Okay, just sit down.
They say part. So let's
And before you
can
do
you
that,
put your
too,
nails
we
down a
also
little bit?
have to
When
know
you
this.
say no.
Pardon me? Hold on. Let's also know this. Cruise Season, SB Nation, anyone that's on this in this particular panel that rocks with me, we advocate for men. That's something that just has to be known. We don't do the opposite. If a woman is disruptive, out of order, we preach order all the time. So over here,
Why? Exactly. I mean, you know something, Rico, that just caught me again. Why are they even advocating for men? There's plenty of men doing it. So
that's why I'm at a loss. It's like there's men doing it. I don't even know why men need advocacy, because the bottom line is whether you like it or not, this is what it is. The reality, the world is a patriarchy. These are men who find themselves not in a position of, they haven't reached managerial status in the patriarchy. They're still low-level workers, and they're down there with women being treated equally. So they feel left out. That's not women's problems. That's the fact that other men within the patriarchy don't feel as though you have shit to offer. So you stay at the bottom of the, because even within the male patriarchy, there's a hierarchy. You motherfuckers are at the bottom. And in likelihood, you're going to stay at the bottom. So now you whine, well, I'm not getting promoted within the patriarchy because of women. No, you're not getting promoted within the patriarchy because men above you in the patriarchy don't think your goofy ass is worthy of a promotion.
Right.
And that's just it. So you don't need advocacy. If you want to move up in the patriarchy, become a better fucking man. And men within that patriarchy will give you opportunities to rise. But since you can't, you never will. And that's not women's fault. Same way we live in the world of white supremacy, which also needs to be dismantled. Same thing.
It's already a given. You just
SB, I'm gonna hold you to that. Because you do preach order, you do preach women being out of order, and you are known for having your own way of calling it out, right? I kind of want to know why you didn't call it out in real time in this conversation. These type of conversations, and y'all gonna say these type of conversations is where I like to see people keep it 100. Shout out to Rilla 1000 Wow. this is where I would like to see. Don't talk all this accountability stuff when people are not in real time. We just seen a man disrespect his wife. Nobody said nothing. It was a giggle, right? We just see now, we're about to see, as B said, you know, we preach order all the time. I would have loved to see her actually speak up in a time that it was necessary, considering she is the elder and that's what she has been known to do. She do not care how you feel about it. If she has an opinion, if she want to do whatever, she is going to ask you a question, call it out. So I kind of want to know, like, what stopped her from actually, quote unquote, what we came to this space to do, hold each other accountable, right?
That's a good point. You want to know why? She should have stepped on Game Changer when he started being disrespectful to the other man. That's an important point. It just shows how fake she is, because she had an opportunity to gain order, but she didn't do it. She didn't do it. She just chuckled there along with Chantel while Game Changer unjustifiably disrespected that man.
But DJ, that's another conversation that needs to be had about these so-called elders, not eldering, if not making up a word, of course. But, you know, just things that, you know, like I said, people of my age, your age, our generation, the generation right below us, they should know better. They know we had these conversations pre-internet and this shit wouldn't fly. But I don't know why some of the so-called elders get in these spaces, and I don't know if they get intoxicated by, again, what I call the adulation of the young folk. Oh yeah, this, that. I don't, you know, and I think sometimes they get intoxicated by it. Maybe it makes them feel younger again. Maybe it makes them feel some kind of way, like maybe they never got attention before, and now they're getting it now. But I'm like, I'm fine with them being in the space. I'm in the spaces, but I'm like, be honest. Be honest. No, I mean, 60% of the shit y'all hear, y'all know it's just unfounded and makes no sense.
Exactly. Wait, 1 second. I just put, just so you guys, just for you folks who are so you don't have to look hard to find SheSo Lucki's page. I put a link in the chat. I'll put it in later on as well, but it's right there. Feel free to like and subscribe her channel, and y'all better be liking and subscribing my channel too. But anyway, let's keep going here.
Women hold other women accountable. That's what we've always been told. Men also have to call it out. In this scenario, I kind of want to know, why didn't you said that's what y'all preach on your channel, but in this particular moment, when she kept being rude, it wasn't being called out. So I just kind of want to
exactly practice what you preach.
Know that. And so, you know, that's just part of it right there. We advocate for men being leaders, order, Bible, God, creator.
She's going, oh my God. I'm rolling my eyes, folks.
Yeah, because this whole gender leadership
Bible thumping, but I'm just saying that's who we advocate from. The whole thing is about that. So I just want to put that part out there also, because the atmosphere has to be set to understand, you know, maybe even the questions that were being asked. But I apologize. I'll be quiet.
No problem. And just to clarify too, we're having this conversation to highlight how certain advice and certain talking points allow women to be so entitled, thinking that I don't need to learn what.
Shut up, Chantel.
Right. So it's like, so the advocacy for men is to speak down on women, or to say that women are entitled. That's how we advocate for men. I don't get that.
Right.
So is it advocacy for men, or is it to berate women? What is it? Because that's not advocacy for men. You would just strictly be speaking about what ails men and ways of solving it. And it wouldn't have anything to do with women.
It sounds like a bunch of browbeating to me. It sounds like they just want to disrespect women and disrespect women to make men feel better about themselves.
Right. I don't see how women don't have anything to do with men's problems. I don't get that. Men have problems, but it's not because of women.
Right.
Not in the fucking patriarchy. That makes no sense. These are men who have problems among men, and they look to women to blame that on.
Right. I mean, are you a man or not? Are you a man? It really comes down to that.
Simple.
I don't need to bring anything else to the table but my box, because people like Steve Harvey said, girl, your box is golden and a man will fight over your box. And Trill had basically...
Can we stop using Steve Harvey like this generation listening to Steve Harvey? When the last time Steve Harvey made anything? First of all, he don't even have a show no more. So where are they listening to Steve Harvey? We are listening to Lori Harvey in this generation. And Lori Harvey's action says she's leveraging the hell out of her box. Now her intentions are different. But the thing is like, why are we sitting up here still using Steve Harvey as if this generation is listening to Steve Harvey?
Yeah.
Right. I'm Steve Harvey's age, and I don't listen to him.
No, I know. I was like, that's just I didn't even know Steve Harvey gave advice. When he wrote the book, I was like, ain't nobody read that shit. We watched the movie, but I don't think most black women was reading his book. You know, what was it? Think Like a Man?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we all watched the movie because those were considered black movies. But I don't think most women read his book. I don't know a black woman that read his fucking book. Not one.
Yeah. I'm sure there have been, but yeah.
I'm sure there's some, but I don't think in mass would I believe that the majority of black women say, oh, I don't know what to do. I need to get Steve Harvey's book. I just don't. I don't believe that. I do not believe in mass. Tens of millions of black women felt like their life was not complete until they got the wisdom of Steve Harvey and ran out and bought his book. We all watched the movie. Black men watched the movie.
Right.
It's a black movie. I got a date. We're going to see Steve Harvey shit. It's funny.
Exactly.
I don't even think the people that was in the movie read the fucking book. So,
okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Let's stop these talking points. Y'all got to.
She said that, so that's why I'm having this conversation to highlight how that talking point is doing more harm.
Now she at least Chantel is at least she's admitting it. Before she wouldn't even admit saying that she had talking points. She was using talking points
for or black community.
Wait. Again, I gotta clarify, because again, a lot of y'all content creators like to take what people say, like to misconstrue to feed to y'all audience. That is not what I said. For one, I was not giving advice. In that scenario, I was just like a reporter reporting on what actually happens. And what actually happens is most men are influenced by the box. That is a fact. This is not conjecture. This is not my imagination. This is not anything I've researched. This is reality. So again, I'm not giving advice.
Most men are influenced by women, period. I mean, period, point blank. They're influenced by women. A lot of their actions has to do with women. It's not like women are walking around with their box hanging out. Hey, they're not doing that.
Well, but my thing is, I don't know.
By women. Why are they going to demote it down to a box theory? That's the only thing that kind of, but I'm an old fogey. So, I'm going to say something like that.
But I would say, DJ, I don't know if that right word is influence. I would say that most men I would say almost all men desire box. So it's having a desire for something, not necessarily being influenced by. It could
or obsessed.
I'm not saying that it can't, but I don't think the vast majority of men like the box is going to make me do A, B, or C. And that's what I look at as influence. Influence is actually having you to do something specific.
Right.
I want your box. Now, every man desires it. I don't know if it will make me do something. So I would quarrel with the word influence, but I do not disagree that every man wants box. I think most women want ping.
That's
I
true.
think most do. I think most people are pretty much, once you reach an age of sexual, being sexually active, you're going to desire. They don't desire a million pings like we desire a million boxes.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah, that's the
Women
difference.
content with one
Yeah.
or two. Right. But they're not going around saying, I want to be celibate for the rest of my life.
Right.
They're not
Exactly.
saying that.
Hey,
So what are we talking
a man,
about?
you should go out there and just be finessed by the women. No, I'm saying that most men are finessed by women due to sex. Even powerful men, successful men, we see it 24/7. Men risk their fortunes for vagina. So for us to sit up here and act like that's not the case, that is being disingenuous. And you are being disingenuous because you are taking what I said and finessing it to try to feed to your base. That is wrong.
No. Come on, Don DeMarco. he just dropped a bag on you. What you gonna do with it? He just dropped a bag on you. What you gonna do? Are you gonna acknowledge what he just said? He just said it for the what? What we on number 6? Number 6. I think we on like number 5, 6. He just dropped a bag on you. Somebody else on your panel played the music. That's what just happened. Now, we're going to see if she acknowledge it, try to understand, and move forward.
No. I'm sorry.
That is being disingenuous, and you are being disingenuous because you are taking what I said and finessing it to try to feed to your base. That is
No. I'm sorry. I don't know who just did the song for a second. I ask that you hold off on it, please. Trill, the point of the conversation is not if men don't have this discipline or not. As I just said, the point of my conversation is how we emphasize the value of the box. You tell women that the thing is between your legs is golden and men will fight and kill over it. So black women think, hey, I don't need to bring anything else to the table but my box. And that's what I was just breaking down.
She said black women. Can anybody ask me why she specified? Are we just like these dumbasses, right, that do not realize we didn't even know that we had power in our vagina until Trill said something. Like, that's how stupid we were. We didn't even know that we had power in our vaginas to influence men until Trill said something. Because we as black women, we're going to think that we can manipulate men as if we didn't fucking know that already. Are you trying to? That's why we're all here. Men are saying women are manipulative. They're this, they're that, and the other. Married man is complaining about how a woman withholds sex. She is very much aware of where her control primarily lies. But according to what Chantel is saying, according to what she just said, I'm not making nothing up. She just said, based on Trill saying that, black women are going to hear that. And now we are going to say, you know what? Shout out to Trill. He told us something we never knew. Even though we see situations like Tory Lane's situation, going crazy, trying to lose your freedom and shit over the WAP. Okay? But we gonna sit up here and act like women for years, even in music, for years, has not known that the power was in the WAP until Trill said something.
Shout out. Peso Man in the house.
Let me say something to it.
Southern Belle in the house. Phyllis in the house. Hustler and Muscular in the house.
I just want to say,
Lipskip Vibes is in the house, and Big Cap is in the house.
Let me just say this. I don't know what was the reach of Steve Harvey's book. Like I said, I'm just unaware of it being that influential in my time, so I could be wrong. But I will say this. Just saying it was a bestseller, the requirements to be a bestseller of the New York Times only requires a selling of 5 or 10,000, between 5 and 10,000 books within 1 week. That's all it takes. Almost any book can become a bestseller. So I could be wrong. I don't know. Again, as I said, I don't know. I haven't even heard a lot of people talk about his book. I don't disagree that some people have read it, and maybe a lot of people have read it. Maybe he sold 1 million copies, but in a country of 300 million, maybe 20, 30 million Black women, that just doesn't strike me, with the argument that all of these Black women are being led by his talking points in a book, because that's all that's required to be a New York bestseller, is to be able to sell between 5,000 and 10,000 copies within 1 week. So I know how that sounds, and people will go, oh, he's a bestseller, and we can want to believe that everybody, and I don't know, that you guys could be 1,000% right. I don't know. Why do I have to be a Black woman, Ree?
We do.
That's silly.
Let me tell y'all.
I mean, that's a silly argument. We're talking about an author. We're not talking about Black women. Steve Harvey's not a Black woman either.
This shit called death. Cause it ain't no way. It is no way that she believed that. It is no way, based on her your content is specifically talking about women and the manipulation. How do you think we manipulate men? Because we didn't know this until Trill said something. So what the hell we've been doing this whole time? What we've been doing the whole time? We had Playboy come out, had a whole slew of vagina, being very influential. But we did not know this until Trill said something, because Black women, we so dumb. We so dumb.
Exactly. I did not put words in your mouth. I let the video play for the full, about, I don't know, it was probably like 2-3 minutes. Did not pause it, then reviewed it, went back again the second time, paused it each time. Trying to review it a third time, that way I don't misunderstand or put words in your mouth. The clip the 30 seconds that I just showed, SB said it's the same, straightforward, and that's what we're talking about, is straightforward. So we're going to continue. So you both
wait. Real quick. So that whole like women's box in terms of influencing men, in terms of what I said, because I agree, I do stand on that. So are you saying that that's not true for the majority of most men? Because if I remember on the panel, and we can rewind that, hopefully you got that part saved, you admitted to the fact that most men are controlled by the box. That's what I said. So are you saying that that's not true?
Yes, most men don't have dick discipline, as I just said.
There we go. That's he finagled it out of her. Most men don't have dick discipline. So if that's the case, wouldn't you want to work on that with men? I mean, doesn't it make sense to work on that problem instead of disrespecting Black women? That is the core of what my goal is understand the problem is yourself. If your dick discipline was disciplined, you wouldn't be having these issues, fellas, because you wouldn't be giving off thirst vibes. You wouldn't be telling women, hey, I'm thirsty. And you lowered your value walking up to her. Women don't want men that are desperate. Hey, fellas, here's a good tip for you. If you want to get rid of somebody, just act desperate. It works like a charm. Act desperate. In fact, that's probably the number one thing. If some woman just won't leave you alone, act desperate. Beg. Because you're begging already. You just don't know you're begging, but you're begging.
Wait.
So, Jesus Christ. So, if most men don't have dick discipline, what is influencing them to not have dick discipline? Why do they need the dick discipline? Dick discipline on me ain't getting no coochie. Let's just go ahead and get that out of here. That means that there are certain stipulations and standards in which they would have sex, right? Discipline. I don't mean abstinence. So what is influencing them to the point where they do not have discipline, where they need it? A woman's mindset, her fucking eyelashes, the fucking thick ass wigs that they put on. Well, what is influencing them? And I'm sorry, y'all know I'm trying not to cuss, but that's why I'm saying a situation like this is hard. Because what other word do you want me to use to prove my point? Help me out. Leave a comment. I'm trying to figure out what is the point of talking about dick discipline if it's not being influenced by vagina? I feel like we talk about the same thing, but we are trying to intentionally disagree, but the response is agreeing. Do y'all kind of get it's like a I don't know. It's kind of like being purposely defiant because I have a bigger message and I don't even want to agree. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what it's giving.
Wait, so again, why are we making content as if something I said was wrong? When you agree to it, please explain
when
that.
you're telling women that all they need is a box and they can leverage the box and control men.
Wendy Bro said that's all they needed. When did he say that is all they needed? Or did he just simply state what is? The truth of the matter is in today and what has been happening since Adam and Eve, okay? Women have been influencing a man's actions to do what he normally wouldn't do, whether it's good or bad, based on her vagina. You have men paying millions of dollars to be the first one to have sex with 18-year-old virgins. If that's not influence, that baby, okay, as a virgin, made $62 million off of OnlyFans in a year. Because that many men were doing things that they probably never subscribed to OnlyFans, but they got this little virgin doing. They were influenced. I'm trying to figure out what she don't understand. I'm trying to figure that out. It's literally like ABC. Okay.
Wait. Again, you are misinterpreting what I said. I did not say all you need is the box. Please stop misinterpreting what I said. We have video.
Let me not misinterpret.
Wait.
Yeah, let me go ahead and play the video. I'm gonna go ahead and play the video.
We won't.
Oh,
it's like wear your natural hair, and we say no, we won't.
That just happened. That just happened.
Did they just kick him out?
Oh my goodness. If it isn't Little Miss Attitude.
Wow.
That just happened, y'all. She said, how about I play this video? Because I know what you said. We're going to play it again because we going to make sure that what I felt like you said, you actually said. So let's play the video for you. Since you so slow and you don't realize what you said, let me go ahead and play the video again so you can say what I felt like you said, even though you just said what you just said on the video and you gave more context to dumb it down for me. But I feel like you said something else because this is what I think. So let's play it again so that I can prove that I'm not wrong, even though I am wrong. But let me go ahead and prove that I'm not wrong. So let's play it again because you're too stupid to remember what you just said, even though what I think you said ain't what you really said.
Make your dress a little longer, if you just do that, maybe we can get together. No, I won't. But even though we are not as cooperative as we should be, Trill has noted that the power is in the box. So the woman actually has the power to influence the man to do things that he may not normally do. So with that being said, Trill, how would you advise a woman that wants to be married to pursue a man? Not necessarily pursue, but make herself available for men.
She has to understand the concept of leverage. Just like with anything else in business, like if I'm majority owner of this company, then it's I can throw my weight around in terms of getting what it is that I want from a man. But women don't. I want to say have the wherewithal because they do.
Can you clarify that point? She can throw her weight around in terms of what she wants to get from a man. She can use her box to get what she wants to get from her man. Clarify that point.
Correct. Throwing your weight around, like I said, for the 10th time, I think, to whittle away the guys who are not there for longevity.
Yeah, Chantel be dense. She doesn't. Some things just don't click in her mind. So
How you distinguish? You withhold the box to see which men are there that they actually want to be with you long term, compared to the men who are actually there to smash. You have the leverage to control that, but a lot of women misuse that leverage. They give up the box so early before they even understand what the man is there for, and then blame the man as to how the relationship turned out. So that's what I mean by leverage, right? You have the leverage. You have the leverage to get the. Hold on, somebody had going. You have the leverage to get the information, the proper information that you need from the man to make the right decision. But most women give up the ass so early that they don't get the intel they need, and they make the wrong decision. That's what I meant by leverage.
That was clear as day. Women can leverage their vagina in ways in which they can actually preserve it, take care of it, withhold it. So they can see if this man is around because he wants to smash you, or so that he can see if he wants to date you for real. The only way that you would really know that is by preserving it and not putting out quicker based on your emotions, based on what he's telling you, sweet nothings. We have all done it, ladies. We know we have. I have. And it does not feel good. And you wonder, right? You wonder, damn, like, how did I get hoodwinked and bamboozled? This is literally the sauce. And instead of embracing it to expound on that point, to push that, like I like content creators that actually bridge the gap because they want to make alliances and also because they understand that we all have the same goal, right? What better way to see community other than on our phones or on social media when we're having these conversations and we're trying to understand before we're so quick to bring down another person so that we can be brought up. And in this particular situation, this was sound advice. How do we take a positive message which says, which we have been hearing for a long time, withhold it. We don't want no used up car. Okay? We don't. I don't want by the time you get to a certain age, you a Pinto. We don't want that. Okay? At least
this is very good. This is cool talk right here. And the thing is the consensus seems to be is this. The message is that, and to the detriment of Pookies, the best thing to do is simply withhold. It is not in a insidious way, but it's basically just be more. How about this? This will sound better. And I believe it or not, men should do it too. Here are the 3 words of the day. Be more selective.
Who you choose to be intimate with. That's
exactly.
It. That's it.
That's all.
I mean, and you shouldn't, you should want a sustainable, you should want to know to the best of your ability, because no one has a crystal ball to see into the future, that anyone you choose to become intimate with, that you anticipate or believe that you will have a long-term relationship with, if not marriage. I'm not saying marriage is the end all to be all, because it isn't for everybody. But you should, unless you're some sexually liberated free spirit, not want to be intimate with anybody unless you see or believe that there is a long-term relationship involved. And I agree, as you said, men included. But we know men, we're 10 times whorish. We just are. I'm not saying it as a flex, as a brag. It's just,
the numbers show it. The numbers show it.
And society has told us that it is acceptable for us to be whorish.
Exactly.
For whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't necessarily agree with it. But, you know, and they, for whatever reason, deem if a woman is the same way, which I don't subscribe to that either, that, you know, I think a man being whorish is just as bad as a woman being whorish.
Yeah.
So we're gonna set the standard that, oh, she's a whore. I think that the men should be looked at the same way.
Exactly.
And I don't know why, by men or women.
Exactly.
By men or women, don't look at men the same way that we will look at women. And that's just a society thing. And I just think it's just troubling. It's problematic.
Exactly.
This be a classic. We understand you got a little bit of mouths, but it is a little bit of mouths. It may be road mouths. You know what I'm saying? You've been with this person for a long period of time. You've been long-term relationship. We don't want city mouths type hoes. We like, that's the message, right? And the only way we can distinguish that and we can get that going, isn't the message too about baby mama culture? We understand that men are weak. Men aren't gonna do this. Men are gonna just not have sex with women that aren't mothers and wives and all of this. They're just not gonna not have sex with you until marriage. So it's up to you as the woman to make sure that you, with your body, your choice, make a conscious choice not to use it, because these men are weak in those areas. That is what we have been.
She nailed it. She nailed it. She nailed it right there. That was a slam dunk right there.
Hearing. It is up to us to clank, lock it down. How do we take that and say, if women hear that, black women, excuse me, because you know, black women, we the special idiots out here, you know what I'm saying? If black women hear that, we are going to say, you know what? Instead of Trill really telling us the game and saying that we should withhold it and we should for the right reason so that we can wean out.
Well, take it from me. I've listened to Cynthia G. Cynthia G's message is identical. Clank, clank. Hey, I'm a man. That's not good news for me. The clank, clank. But it's the best. I'm here to give out good advice. Clank, clank.
Out the bad guys. That's not what we comprehend. We're comprehending, you know what? Let's go out here and go rack up more pookies. Because that's really what we want. We just want pookies, right? That's what we want. So when we listen to Trill's message that says don't do it, we really want to do it. And that's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Go ahead, Game Changer.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure I'm clear on
Oh, not this creep.
Are you suggesting that women use sexual leverage in order to get men to marry them?
Man, he's making it sound like women never did that. That's what women do. I mean, I'm not saying that that's what women do purposefully, but it's just the way it is. If you do things right, he will marry you. It's that simple. If you do things right, you know something? Yeah, if you do things right and you want to be married to him, he will marry. You know something? It's not even that. You can just do things right. And what I mean by doing things right is just not making you're not making the wrong decisions. You're not making the wrong decisions. In fact, I think a reverse thirst, if you're not being thirsty in reverse, how men can be thirsty, women can be thirsty too. Don't be thirsty. It's that simple. That's the best way I can put it.
It's like when he talks, it's like you can hear it in his throat. Okay? You can hear, I don't want to understand this dude. You also can hear, I just disrespect him. I think he's a clown. I just thought, are you saying this? I'm saying what the fuck I just said. Okay? I said ABC. Now, if you hear 1, 2, 3, you need to go make an appointment to go talk to somebody. Because I'm saying what I said. Don't try to say, what did you say? Now, the only thing, now I shout out to the females that get it. We do that. That's female shit. We do that because we're intentionally, sometimes we try to understand, but most of the time we're intentionally trying to make you sound stupid. So even though I comprehend what you said, and instead of me giving that acknowledgement and saying, you know what, this is why I disagree, right? That's what Chantel is doing, right? We're not talking about Chantel right now. We're talking about the dude, the game changer dude, right? Don't know what game he changing, okay? But this, we are simply hearing him we try to flip what he clearly saw. Are you saying that women should leverage their box, pretty much, their vagina, to get married? Yes. I'm gonna say yes. Because if the end goal for you is marriage and you want a man that you know for sure is gonna stick around, see how long he will stick around after you not fuck him. After you respect yourself a little bit longer.
Right.
Hold on a little bit longer. Ain't that how I go? Wait in the water. That yes, sir. Yes. That's what he's saying. Yes.
I'm suggesting, I think for the 11th time, you
No, this
sexual-
is-
Wait, you keep on counting how many times you do it. Can you just
No, he's wrong. It's 12. It's 12. But go ahead.
Okay, pardon me, 12 times.
Yes, I have to count. Because I don't understand why I got to keep saying it this many times for you to just say, did you say? And then you say something else. Did you know that it's interpreted? No. I'm just reporting reality. Well, did you say? But no, I said this. But no, but did you say? Yes, I have to count how many times I'm saying it. What the fuck? Yes, I do have to count.
Right. A woman should look to use that sexual leverage to see what the man is there for, not to manipulate a man into being something that he's not, or this, that. Again, I've heard that said a million times on this pod or this live stream, pardon me, and that's incorrect. You use the leverage to get the information you need to make the right decision as a woman. That's what I mean.
Okay,
That's
but
excellent.
once
That's
again,
excellent.
You use that leverage to get them. I mean, I know it.
That's an exit valid point that he made there. It's I guess it's no different than, like I said, using leverage to vet the man.
Right.
I love that word vetting, right?
Yeah.
Trying to be serious about it, you know.
Do you think men are just mad because their thirst and their impatience is running them?
Yeah, and that's just another way of him telling women to use your sexual leverage to vet the man.
Yeah.
That's all.
Men use their cars to get women, right?
Yeah,
You know.
and I think that's the advice that any father would give his daughter anyway.
Yeah.
What father wouldn't tell his daughter to do the same thing?
Exactly.
I tell my daughter. I don't know about nobody else. I'm gonna speak for myself. Hell yeah, that's the advice I would give my daughter. Don't just be putting out, because these boys, they just want a piece of ass. So,
Basically.
Yeah, I mean,
even if you're a wonderful person, they don't care.
Right.
I guarantee, and that's the point I've been trying to give out to the manosphere dudes. It's like, look, you're mad at women now, but think about all the women you dogged out in the past that were good women. You had your chance.
Absolutely.
And they don't get it. They still don't get it.
They don't care.
She still has at least another hour. So I'm going to land this plane now. We might have to do a part 2 if it's okay with her.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
But I mean, I've had enough of Chantel today anyway.
Yep.
But everybody, like to thank you for coming through, and special shout out to SheSo Lucki. Let me put her link in the chat one more time.
Yeah.
One more time. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Let me just go to this page here. And
that's it.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
One more time. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Again, much appreciated. And in a couple hours, I gotta get something to eat. I'm hungry. In a couple hours, we still have Kevin for tonight, but I might move it back a little bit so I can do some things around the house. But then, yeah, we got Kevin tonight. Please like and subscribe, everyone. Thank you for coming out. And oh yeah, Peso Man. Oh yeah, Peso Man's still open if you want to go over there.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah.
Well, you have fun with kitten heels tonight, brother.
Thank you, and Rico, thank you so much for your co-host extraordinaire.
Oh, always, sir. Always. Glad to be a part of the team.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
You too, sir.
Okay, bye.